reaction. Join us from Washington, Fox News analyst Charles Krauthammer. So Virginia, now a liberal state, Charles?
No, it remains a purple state. It's up for grabs. The last time we enacted this play 4 years ago, a Republican won. I think the Republicans had a weaker candidate this time around, but Obamacare was a very key issue. This is going to be the one lesson the Democrats are going to take out of last night's elections. And what you said is true. The White House, the president, is not going to change. But that's because he's not running again. So he will stay there. He will hang in there. He'll pretend it's all going well. He'll do all his surges or whatever. But what you have to keep your eye on, Bill, is the uprising. It doesn't have to be an uprising in the country. It'll be the uprising among Democrats who have to run next year.
Okay.
And already 11 Democrats in the Senate who have signed on to a postponement. There's going to be an uprising if this continues.
And it'll be
interesting to see how
it'll be interesting to see how that'll be handled, because we have Ed Henry coming up behind you, by the way, and he's going to tell us about the meeting today with some of the Democratic senators who have to run again. Apparently, they're furious. And then Cameron and Rosen are going to report after Henry comes on about the attempt to try to get some kind of compromise, but Harry Reid is blocking all of that. So my question to you is, and you know these people better than I do, is Harry Reid just attached to President Obama at the hip? Is he just going to take his orders and let these senators go down if the president doesn't want to compromise, or does he have some kind of independence?
Harry doesn't run next year, so he doesn't have quite the urgency. I don't think he thinks he's going to lose his majority, and he'll probably want to stick with it. Look, after all, when people remember Harry Reid, it will be probably Obamacare will be at the top of the list among liberal historians. So that's his legacy as well. I think he's pretty stubborn. I think Obama, who again is not running again, is going to stay with this because this is the first entry in the line on his obituary in history. Obamacare, if it's a failure,
but what if it keeps getting
that's
worse?
how it will lead.
What if it keeps getting worse? You heard Christie say, look, Americans
Then the senators will break away. Then the Democrats will break away. That's happened before. You can do it in a second term. In a first, it's really hard because you're going to get punished. You might need the president, but a second-term president is going to be a lame duck next year anyway, after the election. If it gets really bad, as I think it likely will, then you're going to have the uprising that you're talking about, and it's going to be localized. U.S. Senate, U.S. House, Democratic caucus.
All right. Now, you say, as it likely will. So this is speculation, but, you know, once in a while you hit it, Krauthammer, once in a while. So we'll take a gamble. How is it going to get worse?
Two ways. Well, I'll put it in this way. For Obamacare to work, two things have to happen. Number one, they have to fix the website by the end of the month, because if it doesn't happen, there's going to be a calamity. There are going to be calls for a one-year delay or longer. Second, and I'm not sure how likely it is. That's not easy to do.
They only have 17 days. You got Thanksgiving and all of that.
Right.
They got about 17 days to fix the damn thing.
And it's the entire architecture that's wrong. So that's unlikely. There's a second unlikelihood here, and that is this idea about the cancellation of the policies. People are waking up all over America in the hundreds of thousands, losing the policy they liked, the one the president had promised them. How you get out of that, I'm not even sure there is a way. Is there going to be, you know, in some states they may extend the deadline, but that isn't the solution. You have people with cancer, other diseases, like their doctor. Their lives hinge on staying with the team that is in charge of them. They're going to lose that. They're going to have a hiked premium, and they're going to have a higher deductible. These people are speaking out. You can see them in the mainstream interviews. It isn't only here on Fox News, although we predicted this months before. But that, I don't even know how they undo that. It could be a postponement. It could be a cancellation. But unless those two things are fixed, I think it's going to go downhill.
And there's something very fascinating happening in the media, as I said last night in the Talking Points memo. Those media people on television who are apologizing for the President Obama and Obamacare, their ratings are falling at an astounding rate. Nobody's buying the apology and the BS and the spin anymore. So
it's not only their ratings, It's their reputation.
Well, they never had a reputation, and you know who I'm talking about.
Some of them started out with one.
Okay.
But then they got, a lot of thrills up a lot of legs. It's been a problem ever since.
All right. Charles Krauthammer.